Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Stonehall Sports with me, LP Cruz. So here are the Dallas Cowboys, 6-2, and coming out of the bye, trying to catch the Eagles in the standings. Now, for them, they should feel pretty good about themselves. They're healthier, they're hitting the stride offensively, and the defense has been lights out pretty much all season. Now, the same cannot be said for the opponent this week, the Green Bay Packers. They're 3-6 and have lost their last 5 games. And say what you will, but this game will still garner a lot of national attention. Maybe it's a matchup of Cowboys versus Packers, the setting of Lambeau Field, Mike McCarthy facing his old team. But with that said, it's going to have a lot of eyes on this game. And maybe it's because people aren't sure about the Cowboys just yet. They're not sure that they're real contenders. And for many Cowboys fans, they feel the exact same way. Also, the other reason is Cowboy fans fear Aaron Rodgers. He's tormented the Cowboys in so many ways over the years. In the regular season, the postseason, you name it. Beating the Cowboys in the most dramatic fashion possible. However, he's not the same boogeyman you've seen in years past, and the team around him is not that good. Especially the team around him is not that good. So tonight's video is for the Cowboys fan that's not convinced that the once bad man is now gone. So like I said before, the Cowboys defense has been lights out. So tonight on the channel, I'm going to give you my thoughts on the matchup with some things that I've seen on film regarding Aaron Rodgers and the team. Now, with that said, let's get to it. Starting us off is the Cowboys offense versus the Green Bay defense. Now, the Green Bay pass rush took a major hit last weekend. Rashawn Gary, their top sack guy, is now out for the year on injured reserve. And to make things worse, they blitz a lot behind that, at 36% of their downs in the upper percentile in the NFL, and yet are still middle of the road when it comes to sacks. Now, without Gary, they're going to be more aggressive in that department and try to get more pressure without Rashawn Gary. And as we know by now with Dak Prescott, that's not the best approach. You can identify the blitz and beat the blitz. Still, in their secondary, they are still strong, and they're led by Jair Alexander, who has been healthy, pesky, and has 3 picks this season. For this game, you should see him lined up with CeeDee Lamb, and that is a tough assignment. Alexander is a productive and very good defender. As far as what's different with Green Bay and their defense, though, it's the takeaways. It's not the same volume, not the same sacks, picks, fumbles. It's not quite the same. And for them, that's been their big trouble area, is the takeaways, having only 5 picks all season. One thing for the Cowboys with them, you can run the ball on Green Bay. They allow almost 5 yards a carry, similar to Dallas. So for the Cowboys, if you want, the play-action passing game should be there down the field if you choose to take advantage of it. It has to also be said that the Green Bay defense is good on third downs and in the red zone. So if you get down there in the red zone, you must punch it in and put pressure on the Green Bay offense. All right, so the Green Bay offense. So I watched the Packers offense on film for 3 games, and what I saw was not great. The games that I watched were Buffalo, the Jets, and last week versus Detroit. As far as Buffalo goes, there's not much to show you on film. For Rodgers, at least, he was put in a bad spot by the coaching staff and the help. There was one play in particular where I saw 3 receivers in the same area on a passing play. Then the offensive line broke down way too many times. And he's frustrated. He's made points in the media about the supporting cast. But when you watch them on film, he has a point. The receivers are not doing their jobs. They're dropping passes. And the offensive line breaks down way too many times. Then you have a guy like A.J. Dillon, who people think is a lot better or should be better, and he's not finishing runs. He's not playing with the same style and physicality that you would expect a back of his size. Then also, I saw this a couple times, but especially in the Detroit game, their center, Josh Myers, has a big problem with quickness, and I saw it more than a few times. And here's one play in particular. Inside the 5. And the hope is to get Dillon downhill and in the end zone. Watch Myers here. He gets tossed aside as Dillon is stuffed short of the goal line. This play is important because of this. On the next play, Rodgers throws a heave for David Bakhtiari that's intercepted. Again, Rodgers has a point. Though things haven't been the same way in the past, the thing with Rodgers is he's pressing. He's trying to do too much and do too much all by himself, and he's making things a lot harder than they have to be. This one play went viral last week, and I'll show it again. There's Lazard coming across the field, and he is open. Rodgers, looking for the bigger play, decides to pass him up and throws the ball out of bounds. This also happened against the Jets. Once again, there's Lazard on the bottom of the screen. If Rodgers waits for Lazard to clear the linebacker, it's easy pitch and catch. Instead, he decides to pass it up and go for the harder throw and the incompletion. It's one of two things. One, he's not seeing the field, which would explain a play like this, where he's got an open receiver through the middle of the field with a safety trailing behind and for whatever reason doesn't see it. Or two, he doesn't trust the receivers and is playing hero ball. Like on this play, the receiver is definitely covered, and Rodgers chooses to force the ball to him anyway. This happened a few times versus Buffalo. Long story short, while still talented, he's not the same guy. He's moody, he's temperamental, and he's lost confidence in his team, and as a result, they're losing games. Schematically, a lot of what they do is to get the ball out quick and horizontal in the quick passing game. And a key part in that is Aaron Jones in their pre-snap motion, who might be out this week. But if he's out, that'll change a lot for them and also A.J. Dillon. But all the boxes are checked for the Cowboys defense to wreck this game. All they have to do is not commit dumb penalties and get off the field on timely downs. For a prediction, give me the Cowboys to win 23-13, and for the star of the show to be Michael Parsons once again. But those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section and on this breakdown. Thanks for watching, and as always, Cowboys up. Peace.